So a couple weeks ago, I told you guys that I would be back next week, and then I wasn't. So for that, I'm truly. Hey guys, Brandon Zerby here, and strong abdominal muscles help stabilize the trunk and unload lumbar spine stress. This not only helps prevent lower back pain, which is the #1 cause of disability for people under 45, but it can help improve posture and physical performance. But more importantly, it can provide you with those six-pack abs. Who cares about back pain, posture, and performance when the only thing that really matters is how our stomach looks in the mirror, right? Well, if that is the case for you, then you'll have much better luck reducing your body fat percentage to about 10% as a male or 16% as a female, because fitness is where you can build your abs, but it's really nutrition that reveals them. But either way, a strong core can help with all of these goals. But what are the core muscles? What exercises did the science show best target and activate these muscles? And which exercises do doctors of physical therapy recommend most? Well, let's get into it. Some people commonly refer to their superficial abdominal muscles as their core. Others characterize the core muscles as any muscles between the pelvic floor and the diaphragm. And some even consider that any muscles attaching to the torso are considered the core. So while there isn't a clear definition, I'm going to focus on the core muscles of the core. The core of the core. First, we have the 3 local muscles whose primary purpose is to help stabilize the core. This includes the transverse abdominis, internal obliques, and the multifidus. Second, we have 3 main global muscles whose primary purpose is to move the core. This includes the rectus abdominis, external obliques, and erector spinae. There's some overlap between the local and the global muscles as they work together to accomplish many different tasks, but these are the 6 muscles that I'm going to target today with the exercises to come. Now, when selecting exercises, we not only want to select exercises that hit all 6 of these core muscles, but we also want to focus on exercises that target both stabilization and movement. While movement-based exercises like sit-ups and crunches are popular and important, it may be core muscle endurance as opposed to maximal core strength that is the primary factor of instability and lower back pain. So with all the anatomy out of the way, let's get into the 4 exercises that you can use for optimal core strength and stability. So first, the plank can be considered one of the most effective exercises at targeting the stabilizer muscles of the abdominals and the obliques. You can perform a plank by laying down on your stomach. You'll then place your forearms on the floor with your elbows underneath your shoulders. Finally, hold your spine and neck in a neutral position. At first, you may only be able to hold this position for about 20 seconds, but after a few days or weeks of practice, you should be able to get up to 60 seconds with these holds. Now, this exercise can become easy with practice, so you'll need to progress the movement to continue challenging these core muscles. Once you're able to complete these 60-second holds, shift your elbows forward to create a long lever and posteriorly tilt your hips. This plank variation has been shown to elicit significantly greater muscle activation versus the traditional plank. Once you can complete these for 60 seconds, then you can look into narrowing the elbows to create more instability or adding weight onto your back as next progressions. Second, the locust pose can be considered one of the most effective exercises at targeting the stabilizing muscles of the back, such as the erector spinae and the multifidus. You can perform a locust pose by laying down on your stomach. You'll then place your arms by your side, palms down, and keep your legs together. Finally, you'll lift your chest and legs off the ground by contracting your posterior muscles. At first, you may only be able to hold this position for 20 seconds, but after a few days or weeks of practice, you should be able to get up to 60-second holds. Like with the plank, this exercise can become pretty easy too, so again, you'll want to progress the exercise as you get better at it. Once you're able to complete 60-second holds, shift your arms to a 70-degree angle like an airplane. This variation can make the locust pose more difficult. Once you can complete 60 seconds of this, then you could look into holding on to various lightweight dumbbells as the next progression. Now that we've performed 2 isometric exercises that target the local stabilization muscles, let's get into 2 dynamic exercises to target the global movement muscles. So the third exercise is a dead bug, which I found to be most recommended by both doctors and physical therapists. Dr. Michael Lau at Prehab considers the movement the best and most underutilized exercise. Now there were a few other people that recommended the rhino beetle or the ladybug, but I'm going to stick to the dead bug here. You can perform a dead bug by lying down onto your back. You'll then reach your arms to the ceiling, palms facing your feet, and reach your legs to the ceiling with a 90-degree bend in the knees. Finally, you'll lower the opposite arm and leg to the floor slowly and return to the starting position. You'll then perform the movement again with the alternate arm and alternate leg. At first, you might only be able to do about 6 repetitions per side, but once you start practicing and get into it, you should be able to get up to about 20 repetitions per side. After you can comfortably perform 20 repetitions on each side, then it's time to progress the movement. You can progress the dead bug by reaching your arms higher towards the ceiling so your head and shoulder blades remain off the floor. After that, you can look into reaching your hips slightly off the floor or holding onto light dumbbells as further progressions. And lastly, we'll finish with a dynamic exercise that targets the posterior muscles. The fourth exercise will be a bird dog, which is Dr. Stuart McGill's top 3 exercises for improving back health. This exercise will look just like a dead bug, except for flipped vertically. You can perform a bird dog by getting on your hands and knees in a quadruped position. Next, you'll reach one arm overhead in alignment with your spine and straighten the opposite leg behind you in alignment with your spine. Finally, you'll lower the opposite arm and leg to the floor slowly and return to the starting position. You'll perform the movement again for up to 15 repetitions and then switch sides. At first, you might only be able to do about 5 repetitions per side, but then with some practice, you should be able to get up to about 15 repetitions. After you can do these 15 repetitions, then it's time to progress the movement. You can progress the dead bug by adding an extra movement at the top of the extension. Once your opposite arm and opposite leg are fully raised, rotate the arm and leg out 45 degrees at the top of the extension and then bring it back to the neutral position. This added step increases its difficulty. As a final progression, you can lift both of your knees off the floor by an inch while performing the movement. By removing a point of contact from the floor, this will dramatically increase the instability of the exercise and the activation of your core musculature. So here are my final thoughts. Improving your core strength is great for improving your posture, improving your back health, improving physical performance, and for aesthetics. But it's important that we utilize a variety of isometric and dynamic exercises to target both the local and global musculature systems. To do this, I've detailed 4 different exercises that are the most researched and recommended that you can start performing today without any equipment. Try performing 3 sets of each exercise 3 times a week and then slowly start to progress these movements over time. These exercises performed over weeks and months can help you create a healthier and happier core. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the channel. If you like this video, please let me know by hitting the like button. It really helps out the channel. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer all of those. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Lastly, I offer a free health kit, which has my top 10 sleep tips, 1 Whole Foods plant-based recipe, and a mobility workout that you can stream on any device. That is free. There's a link down in the description for that. It also gets you signed up to my weekly newsletter, where I provide the 3 most important things that I've read, watched, or listened to within the past week. All of that completely free. Link down in the description if you're interested in that. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I'd be willing to bet a Whole Foods vegan ice cream that I'll be back next week. Bet accepted. You guys are gonna owe me ice cream next week.